Good morning and welcome to another edition of Brewin on Broad Street. I'm Steve Snyder, entrepreneur in residence here at Gesmer Updegrove. Gesmer is a full-service law firm that focuses on the life cycle of tech companies, and we're involved with many dozens of transactions a year, lots of financings and M&A work. Today I have the real pleasure of having my friend Ross Hunter with me. Ross is a really smart, caring, thoughtful person. He's also from the UK. So welcome.
Thanks, Steve.
Glad to have you.
Thank you. I'll try and speak slowly so that everyone can understand my accent.
What accent?
Well, I'm from Scotland originally, so.
Yes.
But there's plenty of us out here.
So you started Copylab in 2005, I believe.
That's right.
You tell stories for some of the world's largest fund management groups. Tell us about that.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I set the company up 20 years ago. It's our 20-year anniversary this year. We're celebrating in Stratford-upon-Avon in England, which is the home of William Shakespeare. So that's going to be a fun experience for us later in the year. We're a content marketing agency, and it started out with me being an investment writer for big fund management firms in the UK. And I saw this opportunity to create a content marketing agency, really focusing on technical content for big fund management groups. And fast forward 20 years, we now have teams in the UK, in Europe, North America and Asia. And I'm over here to help the team grow the North American business.
In 2016, you opened your office in Boston.
Yep.
And Singapore.
We did.
How did you make the decision to open those offices?
Yeah, it was a bit of serendipity, I suppose. We were working for a large company in London, BlackRock, obviously an American firm. They saw we were doing a good job, asked us to help them out in North America. And we'd started out doing it from the UK and found it was a great opportunity, but terrible for work-life balance. So it really drove the decision to set up here. And then we developed a global strategy around, well, we are able to service companies as large and important as BlackRock in North America. We should be trying to do that globally and become their global partner for investment content.
I often hear you referred to as the Global Scot. I know you serve as an ambassador, informal ambassador, to founders of Scottish companies that are here in the Boston area and beyond, providing advice and guidance. So tell us about that.
Thank you. I am not the Global Scot, but a Global Scot.
I'm going to refer to you as the Global Scot.
It's like a superhero for founders back in the UK or in Scotland in particular.
It's like being knighted. We'll just call you sir.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 35 of us in the Boston area, and there's another 300 around North America, and we're all Scottish business people that have relocated to North America or other parts of the world. And our role is to try and help other Scottish founders who are earlier in their journey to find a warm welcome here in North America. And since I moved out here almost 3 years ago, I've had a great opportunity to work with some really amazing Scottish founders and just try and help them with some of even just the basic, how do I open a bank account in North America, through to, can you help us with our product marketing strategy or content marketing or whatever it might be.
In doing a bit of research about you, I learned that in your very first job, you discovered that you loved telling stories.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I guess the job was really boring, to be honest, because I fell out of university with a marketing degree, and I was lucky to be hired by an insurance company that sold pension products, retirement savings products to consumers in Scotland. And the brochures and the content was really boring. And my job was to try and improve it and make it better. And through I suppose, practicing and becoming a better writer, I learned to love the art of writing and telling stories. And I think it's storytelling is something that really transforms, brings a business to life, particularly B2B businesses, which can be a little boring sometimes. And bringing some of those human stories to life can really elevate a company's brand and the reputation of the people working in it.
You are not only a prolific writer, you are a wonderful prolific writer.
That's kind.
And so I looked at quite a number of the pieces that you have written.
Oh dear.
And there were three that stood out that I'm going to ask you about.
Okay.
For you to share them with our audience.
Is this a test?
No, because I know you wrote these. This was not AI. The first is why a clear vision is an essential foundation for business strategy. Why is that?
Well, it's about the direction, isn't it? It's all very well having a compass, but if you don't know which direction the ship is sailing, then it's not much use to you. And I think as a founder, having a really clear vision really helps the team make decisions about, shall we do project A or project B? And I think with AI coming to the fore in the last few years, that's really important, particularly for companies that have a choice to really go deep into AI or to avoid it completely. So that's one example, I'd say.
You mentioned the compass and the importance of knowing where you're going. I think it was the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. The rabbit said to Alice, if you don't know where you're going, it really doesn't matter which road you take to get there. Same thing.
I guess it is, yeah.
The second piece is about standing out. You say standing out is so important at Copylab. Any advice for our audience on how they can stand out?
Yeah, I see a lot of LinkedIn content in particular and blog content, which particularly in B2B companies, so whether it's IT, tech, even professional services firms, where we spend too much time talking about the product and about the service and not enough time bringing to fore the people that actually deliver that service. Particularly in a service-based industries, it's the people that bring the value. So I think that telling the stories of your team and allowing the personalities of your business to be at the front of your marketing is really valuable for customers because it allows them to get a feel for the type of people that they're going to deal with. Very much like what you're doing here. I think you're unusual and you're an anomaly in the sector, and I'm sure it's working really well for you.
Well, thank you for that. Copylab, again, started back in 2005.
Yep.
You have grown a substantial business in Europe.
Yep.
And now in the U.S. and in Asia. So standing out has been an obvious part of that success.
It has. I think being in a niche as well and being very clear about what the niche is for the business. There are 100,000 marketing agencies out there. There's 100,000 financial experts out there, but bringing those two together we're not the only investment communications companies in the world, but I think we're one of the few that has a global footprint.
So the third piece is very much connected to standing out. Okay. You ready? And our audience needs to know about this.
Okay.
You say 8 seconds is all we have to earn attention, but that's still not enough. What should our audience know about that, and what should they do after those 8 seconds?
I think it might actually be less than 8 now.
Okay.
Just sitting on the train coming into Boston this morning, I was scrolling through my feed much faster than every 8 seconds per post. So there are some good rules of thumb about what good looks like, but having a good photograph to go along with your post, particularly if it's a LinkedIn message, having a really great headline is what's going to capture the attention of the reader and get them to stop just for a moment and disrupt their attention. But that only works if you've got really good quality content that follows. If you don't have good quality content, it's just really clickbait, as they say. And that's a killer for for businesses. You have to be able to serve the sausage and the sizzle, as they say. So,
I like that.
okay.
You
We like sausages in Scotland. Anything fried is great.
and you like corned beef hash.
I do, yeah.
I know that with certainty.
It's my go-to.
In another of the pieces, you write about work-life balance, and that's why you started Copylab 20 years ago.
Yeah,
It says in the piece.
it's true.
Tell us why that's so important.
I'm sighing a little bit because I don't feel I'm living up to that at the moment. I feel it's really work is a big part of life, but I'm enjoying it. I think, and that maybe is a difference. What do they say? If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Exactly right.
I think I've come round to that actually. But back when I was working in-house for an insurance company or an investment company, I did feel like I didn't have that at all. It was just work, and there was no real fulfillment or purpose to what I was doing. So when I set up Copylab, it was deliberately not having any offices, or it was very much the idea to give people a more balanced way of working and living, because the kind of work we do is very concentrated at certain points of the month and the quarter. So there can be periods when the teams are working late into the night or into the evenings. So we really try hard to make sure that they get that time back elsewhere, and they're not feeling like they're taken advantage of. So.
When I ask you that question about work-life balance, you sighed. We live on a roller coaster. Running companies, we live on a roller coaster, and there are always ups and downs.
Yeah.
And as the audience heard me ask the question and heard you sigh, I'm sure they sighed as well, because there are always ups and downs.
There sure are. I do hear people saying things like, "Oh, I want to start a company so I can, own my own hours and be in control of my own life." And that's a nice idea, but it doesn't really work like that, because you've got your clients, you've got your employees, you've got your partners and suppliers knocking on your door, and if anything, the hours are longer, not shorter. But you definitely feel like you have a clear purpose around that, which makes it a lot better.
Thinking back over the last 20 years, 30 years, what's the one pivotal business decision that you made?
I think the next one. There's been a lot, and I think internationalizing the business just from being a UK company to a global one was really pivotal because it allowed us to support our international clients. I think the next one's the biggest one, and it's really about how we maneuver our business into the world of AI and being part of that and not being swallowed up by it. And we don't know how AI is going to shake out, but we certainly know the direction it's going, and I think we have got some big decisions to make in that area as well.
I think we all have real interest in seeing how AI evolves and becomes part of our business lives and the lives of everyone.
And our personal lives too.
Exactly.
One day we'll all have robots in our homes delivering us coffee in the morning.
And more.
Yeah.
So you and I met through mutual friends that were all part of a Vistage group. This is not a pitch for Vistage, but I love Vistage. It could be a pitch for Vistage. Tell us about your experience with Vistage and explain what Vistage is.
Good question. Yeah, so Vistage is an executive coaching group led by a chair, and it brings together CEOs, managing directors and founders of companies in different sectors, and we meet once a month to triage each other's issues and opportunities, and we get some executive coaching once a month as well from the leader of our group, a guy called Dan Guglielmo, who I know has been on your show recently.
Yes.
I actually joined Dan's group about 18 months ago, And I was in a group previously in Scotland with another fantastic chair, a woman called Jo McSween, who is, for those of you in Scotland that are viewing this, is famous for leading Scotland's largest and most popular haggis company, which is like a Scottish national dish. Anyway, I think Vistage is a great place to, share time with other peers, other founders as peers, and just to remind yourself that we're all in the same boat. We're all facing much the same problems and opportunities, and it's great to have other people who aren't just going to say yes to you, that are going to challenge your thinking and give you some really great ideas about how to move your business forward.
And there is that common thread of advice and guidance and mentorship with you as the Scottish ambassador, providing advice and guidance to other business owners, and Vistage, where you have wonderful relationships with lots of CEOs.
That's true. I like Vistage because there are roughly 20 people in our group, and there is a solution to every problem in that meeting room, and it's quite reassuring as a founder to have that. It's like my outsourced board of directors, honestly, or growth advisors, and yeah, it's been invaluable to my business.
Because most often people around the table have already experienced what you are experiencing, and you may have already experienced what others are now experiencing, and you can provide advice and guidance.
Yep, there's some older heads for sure around that table, even than me. But there's some younger people as well in the group, and they just bring a different perspective and fresh ideas on whatever the problem is.
So for our audience, what advice and guidance do you have for first-time entrepreneurs to help them succeed? How do they increase their odds of success?
I think what's worked for me is knowing what you're good at and what you're not good at, and don't be afraid to hire people that are smarter than you into those positions. Yeah, that would probably be a good place to start.
Building a team around you that really complements or supplements one's strengths.
I agree, yeah.
Which is part of your informal board of advisors that you have.
That's definitely part of it,
Yeah.
yeah. And even connecting with people through some of the events that you run have been invaluable in that way, meeting people who just have a different perspective on life in our industry in Boston or in the wider United States. Yeah.
Well, you add so much to the Third Thursday events when you attend. So thanks for joining us there.
I'm delighted to be there. It's a great experience, and a lot of good companies and really interesting people going there.
And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Steve.
I really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us for this edition of Brewin on Broad Street. But before we end, how can our audience get in touch with you? What's your email address?
Oh, yeah. You can get me at ross.hunter@copylabgroup.com, or you can hit me up on LinkedIn. I'll be there.
I see your post every morning, every day on LinkedIn, and they are so enjoyable.
I'm really sorry about that. I'm spamming you.
And one consistent thread, you are always smiling. They are always entertaining. They are always so smart, smartly written. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Steve.
And again, thanks for joining me. And thank you. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.